Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be learning about the moon, and this is for class 5. So let's go. The moon. The moon is a ball of rocks, about one quarter size of the earth. It is about 384,400 kilometers away from the earth and is our nearest neighbor in space. That is why it appears so big from the earth. Although the moon is the brightest object in the night sky, it does not give out light of its own. It reflects the light of the sun. At the end of this chapter, you will be able to differentiate between the conditions on the moon and the earth, explain why the moon appears to change its shape every day, describe how eclipses occur, identify the importance and uses of artificial satellites. So, let's go. Conditions on the moon. There is no life on the moon. It does not have any water and its surface is covered with a layer of dust. It has mountains and round pits called craters on its surface. The mountains and craters can be seen from the Earth through a telescope. There is no atmosphere surrounding the moon, so there is no wind, no clouds, and no rain. On Earth, the atmosphere absorbs a part of the sunlight, so it does not become very hot during the day. But on the moon, as there is no atmosphere, it becomes boiling hot during the day. Also, on Earth, the atmosphere retains heat at night, so it does not become very cold. However, since there is no atmosphere on the moon to retain heat, it is freezing cold at night. If you shout on the moon, nobody can hear you. This is because sound travels in air, and there is no air on the moon. The Earth pulls everything down with the force of gravity. That is why anything thrown up comes down. The moon also pulls all things towards itself. But since it is much smaller than the Earth, the force of gravity is less. It is only about one sixth of that on the Earth. This means that if you can jump 1 meter high on the Earth, you can jump 6 meters high on the Moon with the same effort. In fact, your weight on the Moon would be only one sixth of your weight on Earth. How the Moon moves. The Moon revolves around the Earth in the same way the Earth revolves around the Sun. It takes around 28 days, or nearly a month, to make a complete rotation around the Earth. The Moon is the only natural satellite of the Earth. A satellite of a star or planet is an object that goes around the star or planet. Natural satellites of planets are known as moons. The Earth has only one moon. Phases of the Moon. The Moon, as seen from the Earth, appears to change its shape every day, from a thin crescent to the full circular moon. This is because we only see the part of the moon that reflects sunlight to us. The rest of the moon is dark. These different shapes of the moon, as seen from the Earth, are called phases of the moon. The moon revolving around the Earth. So you can see in this picture, the moon is revolving around the Earth. Here it's nighttime, and here it's daytime for Earth. Same, the moon has nighttime, and this is nighttime for the moon, and this is daytime. When the side of the moon facing the Earth gets no sunlight at all, we cannot see the moon. We call this a new moon, day 1. As the moon moves along its orbit, a small portion of the side facing us gets sunlight, and we can see the crescent moon day 4. In a week, we can see half of the moon day 7. After 3 more days, we see 3 quarters of the moon. This is the gibbous moon, day 10. In 2 weeks, the entire side facing us gets sunlight. We can see the full moon, day 14. After this, the phases reverse. Landing on the moon. 3 American astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Edwin Aldrin, and Michael Collins, were the first to visit the moon in a spacecraft called Apollo 11. Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin walked on the moon on 21 July 1969. Neil Armstrong was the first human to step on the moon. Eclipses. Shine a torch towards a wall. Now put your hand between the torch and the wall. Can you see the shadow of your hand on the wall? The Earth and the Moon also cast shadows in space when sunlight falls on them. When this shadow falls on another heavenly object, it causes an eclipse. Solar eclipse. Sometimes the moon comes between the sun and the earth. It then blocks the light of the sun and casts a shadow on the earth. The people in the shadow can either not see the sun at all or can see it only partially. We call this a solar eclipse. If the sun is completely blocked by the moon, we experience a total solar eclipse. If it is only partially blocked, we experience a partial solar eclipse. The eclipse ends when the moon continues on its orbit and moves away. A solar eclipse lasts only for around 7 minutes. Never watch a solar eclipse directly, even through sunglasses. The light from the sun is very strong and can damage your eyes. Lunar eclipse. When the earth comes in between the sun and the moon, the shadow of the earth can fall on the moon. You will not be able to see the moon or can only see it partially. We call this a lunar eclipse. The shadow of the earth covers the moon completely. We call it is a total lunar eclipse. When it covers the moon only partially, we have a partial lunar eclipse. Artificial satellites. Humans have been successful in placing their own satellites around the earth. These satellites are sent up in rockets. They revolve around the Earth and are used for various purposes. They are known as artificial satellites. Sputnik 1 was the world's first artificial satellite. It was launched on 4 October 1957 by the Russians. It orbited the Earth for 6 months. Aryabhata was India's first satellite, launched on 19 April 1975. One of the most important uses of satellites is communication. Communication satellites, for example, GSAT 180 are used to relay television and radio programs. They are also used for sending telephone signals to far off places. Another important use of artificial satellites is to study the atmospheric conditions so that accurate forecasts of weather can be made. Weather satellites, for example, INSAT-3DR, are used for this purpose. Navigational satellites are used to pinpoint the position of any object or person on the Earth. India is developing its own navigational system called IRNSS with the launch of 7 satellites. Some satellites are used to photograph the Earth from above and give valuable information about natural resources. Others, for example, AStroSat, are used to study stars and planets. A rocket launch, a model of Sputnik 1, Aryabhata. You now know the moon is our nearest neighbor in space. There is no life on the moon, it has no atmosphere or water. A satellite of a star or planet is an object that goes around the star or planet. The different shapes of the moon, as seen from the Earth, are known as phases of the moon. A solar eclipse occurs when the shadow of the moon falls on the Earth and hides the sun either totally or partially. A lunar eclipse occurs when the shadow of the Earth falls on the moon and hides the moon either totally or partially. Artificial satellites help in communication, weather forecasting, navigation, and many other purposes. Word meanings: retain, continue to hold on to something. Crescent, a curve that is thicker in the middle and thin at the ends. Launch, to send a missile or satellite into the air or space. Relay, here, to pass on information or news to someone.